Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Evan Here's Culture campaign. Today, we're going to be talking about a modern rap legend. So I thought it was important that we get another modern rap legend to talk about it. It is El Jocko is on the show today, and AKA Brendan Manna. Brendan, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Evan?
I'm doing well. I mean, clearly you got that energy because you're bringing the
Oh,
dance.
I
The dance to
can't
it.
stop. I can't stop moving my arms when I'm nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous at all because we're going to be having fun today because we are talking about Rick Ross's 2012, Jesus Christ, 2012 mixtape, Rich Forever, which I guess is the conclusion to what I'd like to call the Rich duology because the last rap was Finally Rich, Chief Keef. This is Rich Forever. Both have Rick Ross on them, and they're both obsessed with Scarface. So it's like a little two-parter.
It's a continuation because he was finally rich. Now he's rich forever.
Rich Forever. And
and
I thought Brendan was the perfect guest for this because I saw recently you made a top Rick Ross songs TikTok. But correct me if I'm wrong. Only one of them was actually a Rick Ross song. They were all features, right?
yeah, you got me.
So we have never, I reached out to you, so I don't even know if you're a big fan of the Rich Forever mixtape. So just in general, what are your feelings towards Rick Ross? Where did you come about him for the first time?
To be honest, never been a huge Rick Ross fan.
Excellent.
I think he's had verses that I've heard before that I've liked, obviously the Devil in a New Dress one on Kanye's project was was definitely a standout moment. But besides that, I've never listened to a Ross song and been like, wow, this was fantastic. I remember hearing Hustling for the first time, probably roughly when it came out. And I was like, oh, this is kind of awful.
See, this is incredible because this is the first time we've ever had a guest on who isn't particularly passionate about the mixtape, which kind of is a good match because I'm not really particularly passionate about it either. Like you were saying, I like Rick Ross sort of in general. I think he has a very iconic rap voice, sort of huskier, lower. I don't know what you'd call it, but even though I'm still just entering the world of rap, I always recognize Rick Ross when he's on a track. And it's same like you said, Devil in New Dress. Is it?
Devil in a New
I
Dress.
know the song. I know the song. And then of course he leads into Monster.
Oh yeah, he spits 2 bars or whatever.
And then he's out. And then he's out.
Song too. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the Rich Forever 2012 mixtape to get, which once again, Pitchfork albums of the 2010s list. What are you doing here?
Get your shit together, Pitchfork.
Yeah, and that is one of the. We'll talk about some positives, but I just want to get some really annoying things about this mixtape out of the way first.
Sure.
It's Maybach music. I get it. I understand. We can lead in. I like this Maybach music. We can do it. Let's say we do it at the top, we do it somewhere in the middle, and we do it at the end. But almost every single track, we got to be reminded that we like this Maybach music.
He does it on not even his he does it even on his features. Sometimes he'll just show up on someone else's song. It'll be Maybach music. It's this isn't even your song.
Maybach music. Which has appeared because we had Meek Mill Dream Chasers too. So even in the context of the Evan Here's Culture campaign, we've already been told, it's been crammed down our throats that we like this Maybach music.
That's how they do it. It's like Pavlovian,
Yeah, you hear it. It's not even that though, because it keeps telling you that. I guess it's from the perspective of the girl who's talking, but it keeps trying to almost gaslight you into believing, oh, yes, I do like this.
Oh, yeah, Maybach music. Sweet. This is the best kind of music, right, audience?
So that's my biggest criticism before we even get into the sonic quality. And then my second one is, this is, as he says in the very last track of the album, which is just him talking to a buddy, this is an appetizer for his next album, God Forgives, I Don't. And he keeps talking about it. Tries to get you hyped for another album. It's let me enjoy this project. So
yeah,
those are just 2 complaints, but what are there any tracks on this that really stick out to you?
Well, listen, I took down some notes. There honestly, like, I went into this project with an open mind, knowing that I wasn't the biggest Ross fan, but maybe like try to enjoy it for what it was. And like, there are definitely some songs that I came away that I took from the project that I did actually enjoy. I liked Holy Ghost. I thought that was a really good opener to the project. It definitely like it's very indicative of like what the project's gonna sound like and like his style in general. I thought Yellow Diamonds is one that's like always stuck in my head now. Whenever I'm just walking around the house, like, you got some yellow diamonds. Rich Forever was really good. I like the John Legend feature.
I agree with you. And what I really thought about that was it's really easy to write John Legend off because, you know, my parents watch The Voice. I catch The Voice all the time, and they're all sort of bland on that show. You see John Legend and you're like, John Legend. But when he comes in to bring it, he brings it on that track. We gonna be rich forever.
Yeah.
he rocks it. And it honestly, just even the 2 times he comes in for the chorus of that, like flips. I was like, oh yeah, it flipped that switch of, yeah, John Legend is great.
Yeah, he is good.
And they even mentioned that at the end of the album when they're talking, they're like, you fucking got John Legend on the track?
On a mixtape? Yeah.
He's won Grammys. and you're right. So yeah, I think that as the title track does what it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
It sums up the themes of the project, as you might say. All the themes, I don't know if there are any really complex ideas being expressed.
You know what's funny? You know the last track where he's like, yeah, I'm gonna break this down for you guys, or like, I'm just gonna talk about the project. He's just basically, hey, why live forever when you could be rich forever, you know? Why be broke when you could be rich, you know?
Yeah, like, he says, what's the point of living forever if you have to struggle? And you're like, okay, you're almost onto something. And then he's like, it'd be better if you were rich forever. I want to be rich forever. And it's like, they're saying it because that sort of stonery way of like this profound discovery. And it almost lures you in for a moment. You're like, man, yeah, what is life without being rich forever?
I never thought about that one, Rick. I didn't think about what if I just became rich, you know?
Honestly, though, their dialogue was so genuine and real that I was like, maybe this is one of my favorite. This is, even though it's the end, this is like a high point.
Yeah.
For me. As opposed to the London skit. I don't know what's going on there.
I don't understand the point of that, really.
It's in there. It's not really, I mean, because it's a mixtape, but it's already over an hour. So I don't know if we need filler.
I really like Triple Beam Dreams, mostly for Nas's verse. Nas like absolutely murdered that verse.
Nas comes in and even as they say once again in the last thing, you got Nas coming in.
You got Nas.
He comes on that thing of like, what is the line? If it weren't for the America, I would have been an Ivy or
I would have been Ivy League if America had played fair or something. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What a great line. I mean,
I think that's easily the best verse on the project was that Nas verse on there.
Definitely the best. Yeah, definitely the best feature. I mean, there's so many features on this thing. 2 Chainz is there all the time. Meek Mill is coming in. Wale.
I liked Wale's feature. I like the line he had where it's like is that a police siren? Nope, it's just Diplo or whatever, you know.
That is I think one of my favorite lines on the album is Rick Ross in Fuck 'Em. He's like, Corvette so clean, Bruce Springsteen rent it.
Yeah.
And I always love that in a rap song when they pull something feels so far away from the rap world into it and finds the way that those two things connect. That one stuck out.
I feel that Rick Ross is definitely this generation's Bruce Springsteen, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, like, Bruce Springsteen is like doing some podcast with Obama now. So I mean, Bruce Springsteen is kind of sold out. Whereas
I didn't hear about that actually.
yeah, Rick Ross, I guess the people in the rap community would say he sold out it before his career even started, working as a corrections officer. But I guess he's sold back in, or
he circled back.
He's bought back in. That would be the way to
He's forever.
He is, yeah, he is rich forever. He's the modern Bruce Springsteen. I agree with all these things. The one, this is one of those mixtapes where it's, you know, it's about the vibe. It's not necessarily about the narrative or the themes. It's about the vibe you get. And the problem with about the vibe albums for me is 35 or so minutes in, the vibe gets stale. It doesn't matter whether the songs are still good or not. If you're listening to it as a whole, you're like, okay, I want to switch. I want to switch to something else now. Do you agree with that?
I 100% agree, because I think one of my biggest criticisms of this tape is that a lot of the beats are very samey. Like, it's all like that very like Lex Luger like type production with like the bright synths and like the trap percussion, where it's like so many of the beats sound like so similar, and so much of the subject matter also is so similar. It's like, oh, like, you know, once you've heard like a couple tracks, you kind of, you know, get the gist of what the project's going to be like.
There was a little bit of variation that came in like right towards the end. Like they had Party Heart kind of, that song was not good. It's not good, but you do appreciate it, of like, oh, this is kind of doing a lower key, more pop sound. And it's not a good track, but you're like, a refreshment.
It's something different. That's why, like, as much as I'm like kind of about Mind Games also, it was like when that song came up, I was like, okay, it's something different. It's a good change of pace for the project, because it was getting too one note.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like we're so in sync and on the same page with how we feel about this thing. One of the things that I really do, I guess, respect about his sort of type of that the kind of rapper persona he is, or the world he lives in, where the amount of material that he's putting out never stops. You know, it just keeps, there's something every week. There's a new Rick Ross mixtape, or, you know, you can't criticize him for not hustling and not putting work in to get stuff out there and keep the fans happy.
No, definitely. He's been we're
just not the fans.
Oh yeah, no, we were just not the audience for it.
But you know, we've spent a while. I feel like, I don't know if we have. Do you have anything more to really get out about this mixtape in particular?
I think that basically overall, what I would say about the tape is that I thought it was enjoyable. I liked it enough. I think it works best when you just kind of like turn your brain off and like enjoy the tracks for what they are, not like, and just like don't expect like anything of like real like substance or anything like that. I think like the best tracks are the ones where he kind of diverts from the typical subject matter, or approaches it in like a different, unique way. But also, like, I think one of the biggest criticisms I could say is that he's constantly shown up by his guest performers. I think like those are like consistently the biggest, like the best verses. Like Drake first.
He opens up the album too much. He lets so many people come in that it stops being a Rick Ross album.
Yeah, 100%. So, but at its best, you got some bangers, you got some like witty one-liners, and if that's what you're looking for in a project, if you like Rick Ross, you'll definitely like this project.
You did your top 5 Rick Ross. What are the even the features? Mm-hmm. What are the highlights of the career? If you just want to throw out a few names so that it's not all negative in Ross world.
Let's see how many Rick Ross songs I can remember.
Do you? I guess I'll just link your TikTok about your top 5.
Yeah. If you want to know the real top 5 Rick Ross songs, then check out my TikTok channel, my friend Brendan.
All right, well, thank you for coming on, Brendan. I'm glad we could vent or excise our problems with Ross and with Rick Ross. I hope you had fun.
Of course, I had a lot of fun. I'm happy I came.